This team is lifeless. That's kind of like the one line that sums it up. They are down by a goal yesterday, late in that third period. When did they get their final shot on net?
When we were looking before, it was around the 2-minute mark.
2 minutes and 11 seconds to go. They get their final shot on net. Can you show me the screenshot that Liam sent you? 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Should you have a sense of urgency? Should you have guys crashing the net? No, just throw one on net. And as John Goins likes to say, who's in frame here? This puck is going back to the blue line. There is a defenseman that's going to try swoop in and keep this in. You have two players in frame.
I believe that's Skinner and
I think it's McDavid. I think it's Skinner and McDavid.
Is that okay?
Yeah. You have two players in frame. This is what your last shot of the game eventually is a point shot like 5 seconds later or whatever. Man, and someone says this isn't even a big take. It's blatantly obvious. It is. And I tweeted it yesterday, and I can read that one verbatim. I said, this is bleak. Depth players can't do jack shit. Cannot generate anything. And we'll talk about some numbers we looked into in a bit. The star players, I've watched the last two Boston Bruins games.
Which they've won.
With
basically
not last night's game.
They beat Tampa and then they beat Florida as well.
They beat Florida.
So they've won two of the last three after trading at the deadline.
If you have the ability to go back and watch hockey games, if you're someone watching this show, go watch David Pastrnak in those two games. He is fucking hammering defensemen into the end boards. He's chipping pucks. He's the definition of being on an island with that Bruins team right now, and he is doing everything he can to drag them into the fight. When was the last time you saw anything like that from one of the Oilers stars? And I'm not saying just Connor or Leon. I'm including Nuge. I'm including Hyman. Like this team's best players, a hard physical play. When was the last time we saw a scrum after a whistle? We don't see anything of that ilk. Absolutely nothing that leads you to believe that this team in that room wants to turn things around. Not one piece of nothing.
Yeah, you're definitely not seeing the physicality from the stars to the extent of David Pastrnak. I think another thing they're kind of having a problem with in a way is they're kind of like, at least in the last week or so, I know that one road trip out of the Four Nations is kind of its own little island, but they're in these games, and I think the problem is there's almost the fear of putting yourself in the box again. You know what I mean? If you're like a depth guy, for example, of like, okay, they need me to score. I'm not scoring goals. I can't go out there and take a roughing penalty, or do you know what I mean? Something like that.
You can go hard to the net.
Totally, yeah. You can do stuff like that.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.